everybody. Alright, so this is me creating a video for you guys, stretches to work on over winter break, and hopefully you guys will actually do them because it will be really good for you. So let's see, we're going to start with some active bodies. So take your feet about hip width apart, and I want you to lift your heels twice, lift your toes twice, come up onto the toes and hold and stabilize, and release down. We're going to do that 4 more times. Lift the heels twice, lift the toes twice, come up onto the toes, stabilize, and release. 3 more times. Lift the heels twice, lift the toes twice, come up, hold, and stabilize, release down. Again, lift the heels twice, lift the toes twice, come up, hold, stabilize, release down. Last time, heels twice, toes twice, come up and hold, ooh, stabilize, and release down. Good. All right, and we'll open up our shoulders a little bit. So big, huge windmills. And then reverse the direction of the windmills. And release. All right, let's go ahead and cross the right arm across the body. And then switch. Left arm across, and switch, right arm across, and switch, and left arm across. And one more time, either side. Last time. Right, then we're going to come into Bhuja Garda, eagle arms. So take your arms out to the sides, palms up, and I want you to cross your right arm under your left. Take the palms together, lift the elbows up and away, and then gently pull the shoulders back. So instead of letting the shoulders kind of hunch forward, I want you to pull those shoulders back, really lift the elbows up. And then release, and switch to the other sides. So palms up, this time cross the left arm underneath the right, palms together. Lift the elbows up and away, and then gently pull the shoulder heads back towards the wall behind you. And releasing down. Good. One more time either side, palms up. Cross the right arm under the left. Lift the elbows up and away. Gently pull the shoulders back. And release. Take the palms up. Last time. Left arm underneath the right, elbows up and away, and then pull the shoulders back towards the wall behind you. And release. All right, now I want you to clasp the hands behind your back, pull the shoulders back, and gently lift the elbows away, or the hands away from your lower back. Now, as you do this, lots of times people make the mistake of clasping their hands here and then letting their shoulders kind of hunch forward. I want you to really pull those shoulders back. Shoulder blades are pulling together as you're lifting up and away. And then releasing down. And clasp the hands above. Take the palms up. But as you reach up, don't let the shoulders hike up next to the ears. Keep them down so that your head can move freely. And then again, clasp the hands behind the back, lifting up and away. And release, and palms up. And one more time. And again. And release. All right, we're going to work our way kind of towards a Bhuja Gomukha, cow face arms. So I want you to take your, actually we'll start with the right arm. Take the right arm forward, palms up, and I want you to lift up and then bend at the elbow, kind of like you're trying to pat yourself on the back, okay? So grab the elbow and gently pull across the body. Okay, try not to drop the head, keep the head up nice and tall, nice little gentle tug. And if you're able, you can reach the other arm back around and clasp with the hands. Okay, that's not required, we're really just kind of focusing on opening up the tricep here a little bit. So just working on gently pulling the elbow across is more than enough. All right, and then we'll switch sides. Take the left arm forward, palm up, lift up next to your ear, then bend at the elbow, and gently pull across. And then coming back one more time on either side. So you may see my dog and my cat running through this video today. And then last time, go to the opposite side. And then we're gonna release. Good. Let's take some big, huge shoulder rolls. Take the shoulders back. Nice, big, huge rolls. Letting the chest get involved. Good. And then reverse the direction of the shoulder rolls here. All right, we're going to transition into kind of a downward facing dog little sequence here. So hands and feet on the floor. Feet are about hip width apart. And I want you to really focus on pressing in through the base of your knuckles rather than the wrists. You want to press the thigh bones back towards the wall behind you and draw the outer arms back towards the wall behind you as well. If you're really hunched up in the shoulders because of your hamstrings, put a slight bend to your knees so that you can press backwards, okay? And then from here, I want you to begin to slowly walk the heels up and down, stretching out the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, perhaps even somewhat of the glute muscles, wherever you tend to be tight. Let's gently still the heels. Let's take one leg towards the ceiling. You're going to bend into the knee and revolve the hip open to the side, getting a nice long stretch. But try to keep your weight even across both hands as best as possible. Coming back to center, release the foot down. Take the other leg towards the ceiling, bend into the knee, revolve the hip open to the side, but don't drop the shoulder. Try to keep shoulders as best as you can, squared towards the floor. And coming back to center, one more time either side. Take the leg up, bend into the knee, revolve the hip, open to the side. Coming back to center, releasing down, and one last time, other side. And coming back, releasing down. So walk the feet about hip width apart, okay? I'm gonna turn so that you can kind of see me with this. Or not hip width apart, rather a legs length apart, okay? From your downward facing dog, I want you to walk your hands back towards your feet and gently releasing down, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Keep your weight forward in the big toe mounds as you let your body roll down towards the ground. Gently engage the quadricep muscles, your front thigh muscles, so that your knees lift towards your hips and protect your knees. And gently coming back up. I want you to pivot the feet out to the side and then come over onto your left leg. So bend into your left knee and stretching out the right, flex your right foot. We're going to come into Skandasana here. If you need to, you can lift this heel, but if you can't, I want you to try to flatten that heel down onto the ground. Lift the chest. Try not to have a rounded back in this pose. And then switching to the opposite side. Once again, flexing the foot. Get a nice stretch along the abductors here. And then switching again. Good. This is a great pose. I think I remember a couple of you saying that you had pulled groin muscles and stuff like that. So be really gentle with this one, but this is a really nice one to try to prevent some of those groin muscle pulls. And then switch again. And then coming back to center, I'm going to have you heel toe your feet back towards one another, and then drop your hips down, coming into Malasana. Okay? So weight rolls kind of towards the back edge of your feet. Elbows gently push the knees back aside. A couple more breaths here. And then hands reach down. Let's heel toe the feet back towards one another, even closer. Hip width apart. Weight is in the big toe mound so that hips stack over the ankles here. And I want you to inhale, lengthen the heart forward, trying to make the front of your body as long as you can here. And then exhale. releasing down towards the ground. Okay? If you find that you have a really tight hamstrings and your elbow or your back is bent, I want you to put a slight little bend to your knees so that we can have a straighter spine here. Inhale, lengthening forward, and exhale, releasing down towards the floor. 2 more. Lengthen the heart forward, and exhale, releasing down. And one last time, lengthen the heart forward, and exhale, releasing down. Put a slight bend to your knees. I want you to roll up to a standing position. All right, looks like my computer is about to die. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right, so now we're going to switch into a little bit more of a dynamic switch between 2 little poses here, Uttita Hasta, Padangustasana, and Virabhadrasana 3. So extended hand to big toe pose to a warrior 3 pose, okay? Just gonna move back and forth, kind of like a pendulum here. So we're gonna start standing on one leg, take the opposite leg out in front, okay? And you wanna have as straight of a body as you can, so none of this. Stand up nice and tall. If you find that you're having to do this to get your leg up, don't take the leg quite as high, okay? But as high as you can while keeping a neutral spine, neutral pelvis, arms up. You're going to take a deep inhale and exhale, hinge forward, coming into a warrior 3. Back toes are pointing straight down to the floor so we're not accidentally opening up our hip muscles here, okay? All right, and then inhale, rising up, back into our Uttita Hasta. And exhale, hinging forward, warrior 3. And inhale to rise up. Let's do that one more time. And then this last time, we'll come into a high crescent. So, warrior 3. And stepping way back, coming into a high crescent lunge. Adjust myself in the picture. Lift the belly button up away from the floor. Square the hips forward. We're going to take some crescent sweeps here. So take a deep inhale. So you exhale, arms reach back, reach down towards the floor, and inhale to rise. Twice more. Exhale as the arms reach back, fingertips brush towards the floor, and inhale to rise. And one more time. And inhale to rise. And then clasp the hands back behind the back. Shoulder blades pull together. Take a deep inhale. So you exhale, hinging forward with a flat back. Arms reach up. And inhale, rising up. Straighten out that front leg. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, once again, hinging forward with a flat back. And inhale to rise. Good. We'll switch sides. Do that on the opposite side as well. So standing on one leg, standing up nice and tall. Take the other leg out forward. Arms reach up, pendulum. Uttita Hasta, take a deep inhale. Exhale, hinging forward. Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. And inhale to come up. And exhale, hinging forward. And inhale to come up. And exhale, hinging forward. And inhale to rise up. This last one, we'll step back into a high crescent. So stepping way back, high crescent lunge. 3 crescent sweeps. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, arms reach back. Fingertips brush towards the floor. And inhale to rise. And again, twice more. Inhale to rise. And last time. Then clasping the hands behind the back, shoulder blades pulled together, and exhale, hinging forward with a flat back. Inhale to rise up, straighten out that front leg, take a deep inhale, and exhale, hinging forward with a flat back. And inhale, rising up, and coming back. All right, we're going to go back to the Uttita Hasta to Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana, and add some twists into our exercises here for a second. Okay, so once again, coming back to the original leg that we started on. Here, we'll do 3. Take a deep inhale, exhale, hinging forward, and inhale. inhale to rise. And again, exhale, hinging forward. And inhale to rise. And last time. And inhale to rise. This last time we'll step way back into a high crescent. So I'm going to adjust this so that you can see better. So step way back into a high crescent. From here, we're going to do some high crescent twists. So take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twist towards the side, and your arms are going to go wide. And inhale back to center. Think about twisting from the belly button up. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twist to the side, arms go wide. Inhale to center. One more time. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist, arms go wide. And back to center. And clasp the hands together at the heart center for a prayer twist. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the side. Hook the elbow. And I want you to make your hands as centered in the chest as you're able. And we'll hold here for one more breath. And then coming back to center. Good. And then we'll switch sides. Switching to the other leg. Once again, those little leg pendulums. We'll do 3 of them. And then come into a high crescent lunge. And one more. And then the last one, stepping back into a high crescent lunge. And once again, sorry for the camera, need to twist around so you guys can see better. So high crescent lunge, take a deep inhale, and exhale, twisting to the side, arms go wide. And inhale back to center. We'll do 2 more of those. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twist to the side, arms go wide. Inhale back to center. Last time, take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the side, arms go wide. Come back to center. Let's bring our palms together at the heart center. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twist. Hook the elbow if you can. And hands as centered in the chest as you're able. We'll take one more breath here. And coming back. Good. All right, now we're going to transition to the floor for a little bit of cobras and a little bit of back work here. So coming down onto your belly, let's bring the hands back by the low ribs. Let's see. I think you guys can still see. It's getting a little dark. I apologize for that. But hands back by the low ribs. I'm going to inhale, roll the shoulders back for Easy Cobra, Bhujangasana. So we're using our back muscles here rather than the arms. And exhale, releasing down towards the floor. Again, inhale, shoulder blades pull together and down the spine, Bhujangasana, Easy Cobra. Exhale, releasing down. Now we'll start getting a little higher each time. Roll the shoulders back, Easy Cobra. Exhale, releasing down, twice more. Inhale, shoulders back. And exhale, releasing down. And one last time, inhale to come up. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And exhale, releasing down. Good. Let's clasp the hands behind the back, Shalabhasana, locust pose. So belly into the spine. Then you're going to lift the legs, the chest and the arms away from the floor. Really reach those hands back towards the heels. And exhale, releasing down towards the floor. Twice more. Inhale to lift. And exhale, releasing down. And one last time. Inhale to lift. And exhale, releasing down. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog pose here. Hands by the low ribs. Plant all 10 toenails into the ground. Now roll the shoulders back, coming all the way up. So shoulders end up directly over the wrists, belly into the spine, tops of the feet, and the hands are the only thing touching the floor here. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And then exhale, releasing down to the floor. And let's sit back, child's pose, Balasana. Take a couple breaths here. Release any tension in the lower back. Make the side waist nice and long. And child's pose, Balasana, is always a great kind of restorative posture in any yoga sequence. And then we're going to come up and transition onto our back for some a little bit more hip opening stretches here. So let's roll down into the back, hug your knee in towards your chest. Your Ekapada Uttanasana here. Just relax both legs completely. You might feel a little stretch here in the glute muscles, and we're releasing our hip flexors as well. So we'll just take a couple breaths here. Then place your hand on your hip as a reminder to keep your hip down, and draw your knee open to the side. Remember, you want to keep both hips down evenly on the ground. And again, we'll just take a couple breaths. Then coming back up to center, take your hand to the knee, arm out to the side, and then draw your knee across your body. With this one, it's really easy to hike the hip up as you twist. So I want you to think about lengthening the hip away from the shoulder as you twist. And depending on where you're tight, you might feel this in your glutes. You also might feel it kind of in the low back muscles as well as you twist. Then coming back to center. Let's cross your ankle over your thigh for thread the needle. And I want you to flex your foot here, and that'll help protect your ankle and your knee joint. And to get the most out of the stretch, try not to let your body kind of crunch up, but keep the head and shoulders as well as the hips down on the ground. And then you'll feel the most of the stretch. And then switching sides. Hug the knee in towards the chest. Extend the other leg out along the floor for Ekapada Uttanasana. Sorry, my little dog's barking in the background there. And then again, take your hand to your knee, your hip, draw your knee open to the side, getting a nice big stretch. And coming back up to center, take your hand to your knee, and draw your knee across your body to the side. Come into a twist here. Your gaze can stay towards the ceiling, or if you like, towards your outstretched hand. I usually tend to like the ceiling because it's a little bit easier on the neck and shoulders. Then coming back to center, and thread the needle once again. Flex the foot as you gently draw your knee in towards your chest. Keep the head and shoulders grounded. Keep the hips grounded as well. And then releasing the all-important internal rotation stretch. Take the feet out to the side and drop your knees inward. Getting a nice little internal rotation stretch here. And we'll take a couple breaths here. And then let's rock up to a seated position, do a couple seated stretches as well. Okay. Let's make your way into a mermaid position here. And the goal here is to try to even the hips out. So an internal rotation stretch here, external rotation stretch here. And then we'll switch sides. And once again, try to even out the hips, getting both hips down on the ground evenly. And one more time, either side. And then last time. Let's make our way into Janu Shirshasana. Head to knee pose. So hug one foot in, take the other foot out. You're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall. Depending on how tight your hamstrings are, you might just take your hands back behind you and sit up nice and tall. Or if you like, you can lean forward. I'm going to twist here so that you can kind of see. What we don't want to have happen is this, because here we're not really stretching out our hamstrings or our calves where we want to. Instead, we're stretching out the tiny little transversus spinalis muscles in our back, which can weaken our postural control. So you want to really sit up nice and tall, get that pelvis to tilt slightly forward, so hands behind, sit up nice and tall, shoulders back, or if you can lean forward. But once again, shoulders are back. Think about trying to lift your breastbone past your toes here, almost thinking about laying your belly onto your leg before getting your chest down here. We'll take just a couple breaths here. And then switching sides, taking the opposite leg out. Uh-oh, computer's gonna die here again. There we go. All right. And then switching to the other side, sitting up nice and tall. Again, if you like, hands behind, or sit up, hinge forward. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can kind of play with the stretch a little bit. When you flex your foot, the back of your leg is stretched. When you flex the forward, or kind of point the toe, the front of the leg is stretched instead. So instead of sitting here and bouncing, you never want to bounce in a stretch. You go to kind of your range, your kind of end range here. Then you can play with the stretch a little bit, just by pointing the toe and flex. Point the toe, it releases part of the stretch, and then you can flex it and get a little bit more of a stretch. So you can kind of play with it that way, but don't ever bounce. It's a good way to injure yourself. And I'm rising up. Let's bring both legs out in front of you. Move the flesh away from your sits bones so you can sit up nice and tall, flex the feet. And again, depending on your flexibility, you might just want to take the hands back behind, sit up nice and tall. If you're able, you can lean forward. But once again, nice flat back. No rounded back, right? I want you to lift the chest, shoulders pull back towards the wall behind you. And just take a few breaths here. And once again, it's almost like you're trying to lay your belly down on your legs first. Gaze stays in front of your feet, because as soon as you take your gaze towards your knee, see what happened to my back? As soon as I look down, my back rounds. But if I take my gaze forward, then my chest lifts and my shoulders reach back. And again, if you like, you can kind of play with the stretch here. Point the toes a little bit and flex. Point the toes and flex. Take another breath here. And then inhale, rising up. Good. And then go ahead and shake the legs out. All right, guys, that is your homework stretches for the winter quarter break. Hopefully, you guys actually do them. And I will see you in January when our classes pick up. Have a great holidays, you guys.